This is part 2 now of the Red Dead Redemption General Store, and I've done a little bit of work here. What I did is I've arrayed this stuff now. So if I change the size of the room, I can adjust that. I'm still not sure if I'm going to keep it that way or do it in texture. And I've just changed the size of the room and a few things, and I've got this thing set as an array here. Now, so what I can do is I can just work on one and just add them, because we're going to be working on the on this stuff here. Okay, but before I do that, and that's pretty much what I'm going to do in this video, is work on this thing here. I want to come in here, just bring my 3D cursor to there. So what I'm thinking of doing here, I'm going to bring in a circle and go for something like 20 vertices. I'm going to rotate X90 and I just want it in the general area. Okay, what I want is a curve. What I want to keep is the top curve. Let's try that. No, I think that's a bit more what I want, so I'm going to extrude that up, and I'll just bring it back a ways. And this one might come down a bit and then back, and I'm going to snap to vertex like that, and then make a face. I'm going to pull that back a bit. We'll see if that's the right shape that I want, and imagine that's there. I'm going to extrude it out and just start having a look at that, and that's actually going to go under there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to try scaling in the X so I have less of a curve, so that I can get a little bit of it like that, sticking out here and that there. So if I can work with that, what I'll do is I'll get rid of the backs, and then the back and the top. Take that and might want to, well, we'll see. I might do a bit more beveling, but select those edges and Control B. 3. I think I am going to bevel those just to smooth round them off a little bit, and we'll try that. Let's just make sure it's done. Flip, bring that back, and actually this thing comes out quite far, so I can scale in the X a little bit more. Comes up very close to the edge. Something like that probably is okay. I was considering doing something like that down here too, instead of the original design, but I can go ahead and maybe I'll join that. Let's just have a look with it like this. Okay, yeah, so that's what I wanted to do there. Maybe what I'll do is I'll work on the drawer type stuff here. I actually need that open. Let me see if I can grab this and start using this. I don't know. Let me pull that out, break it out, and get rid of all this stuff in a moment. And just sort of slide it over. Maybe I'll look from the side and get it even more. So this is going to be for the drawers and the cupboards, and I'm going to split it like that. And see, I want that to fit in. All I really want is one piece there. So I'm going to select that, Control I to select everything else, and we'll get rid of that stuff. And I'll have that. You know what I'm going to do though, is I'm going to take one of these edges. I don't know if I actually even really need that for when I create the drawer. I just want to see, the drawer is going to be quite narrow. I kind of want to bring this up a little bit more, and just bring that up there. You know what, I don't think I need that. I think I can get away without it. Okay, so this guy, how about we'll just inset it like this. Okay, and we'll extrude it back a little bit, maybe not too much, and then I'm going to inset again and have a little bit of a thing there, inset it a bit more, inset one more time, like that. And then I'm going to extrude out. I'm going to scale it. Let's leave it like that for the moment. And let's focus just on that. And select this edge. I think it's flipped, so we'll fix that in a second. Just give it some depth. Let's Alt and recalculate outside. Okay, we're all right. When I put the wood on it, unless I split it there, I think maybe that's what I'll do, so that I can get grain coming like this and this. Otherwise, it'll all be like across and it'll look weird. So what I think I'm going to try to do is I'll go ahead and I'll start my beveling with 3, and then I'll put a seam in the middle. So just a little bit of rounding like that. And I'll go ahead and I'm going to bevel that. And then I need to do some more beveling. Do that. This one, I'm going to bevel a little bit more. And we're going to need an edge in here for the shading purposes. And in there. And I'll bevel this. And I was thinking of doing something else with the top, but maybe I won't. Maybe I'll just do it like that. If I shade smooth that, I'll put on some modifiers. I'll wonder, yeah, I don't have to do seams right now. Let's just bring that back. Let's just see how this would fit if I was to array this, say coming out this way. Okay, and I need a little bit of room because I'm going to put some hinges. Something like that on there. All right, I'll throw on this weighted normal and normals auto smooth just so it looks a bit better. Okay. And which way do we want them to open? Let's just take this one, come in here and select there, Shift D to duplicate. This will move them all along, but it's okay. I'll fix it up. I'll do that. And I'm going to break it out. And that piece there, if I can select it, let's get rid of the array on that. Okay. To make it easy, what I'm going to do is just convert it to a curve. It is a few steps, admittedly, but I can just do this. Okay. And then I can set this at maybe a resolution of 3 or something, and then just convert it back to a mesh, instead of bringing in a cylinder and all that stuff, or a circle. Okay, let's just focus on that. So we're going to come in here and just select that edge all around and put a face in that one, and we'll bevel. That's good enough. And 2 here, let's say, wherever they land, and then Control B, but roll back to 2, E and Alt S and pull. So it gets an indent, and then select these edges. Bevel those a little bit. 2 or 3 is probably fine. Now if I shade smooth right now, inside it looks a little bad, so I'm just going to drop an edge loop and split it with 2. You know, the polys go up, but it's not too bad, hopefully. Okay, so is that what I wanted? Is there an issue here? Maybe I need another one just to fix it up. Okay, so that, what I was thinking is I'll put it in there and just sort of push it on a bit. And let's go wireframe, pull one up there maybe, and I'm just going to duplicate it down. Maybe I will pull them out a little bit. No, not really. Okay, I'm going to take that and I'm going to join it. And that's going to change that, but these they're on there. And so now I can fiddle around with the Where am I? On the array here. Something like this. Okay. All right, so we've got that. So let's just have a quick look. Okay, down here, this stuff. And, oops. Let me get back to that one. It's hard to tell where those are. It kind of feel like I see them there, and I feel like I see something here. So I got them on this side so you could see them a bit more. Now I'm going to create something similar to that. So I guess they open this way. So that's all right. All right, so here's what I wanted to do in the first place. I'm going to bring my 3D cursor there, and I'm going to just focus on that, and I think I'll just focus on the one, and I'm going to look from the front. And what I thought I would do is this. I'm going to bring in a circle, go for 18 vertices, and rotate X 90. And okay, so what I want, and this actually, I'm going to take this and I'm going to just duplicate it up, just leave it there. I'm going to get rid of these, and I'm going to get rid of those, and I realize I can't really see, okay, and I want to get rid of these, so I want to take this and snap to vertex and actually pull it down, and I'm going to join these like that. This is going to go up a bit. Maybe I should be better to do it there. And I probably will have to change the size. I'm going to take this and control to go to there, because I want another one. So there's going to be a flat piece in here, so I have to make a face. And then I want this again, I think, Shift D, and then I'm going to rotate Y 180, and how do I want to do this? I think I'm coming out to there, I think. Let's join those, and maybe we'll just come back now. So what if I grab, let's see, is that, it's hard to tell where my last vertex is. There it is there. And this one. And I'll extrude back. And I'm going to scale X0, and then have to make a face. I'm not quite done. I may want to do a little bit of extra beveling in here for the sharp points. There. Maybe there. Maybe just Shift Control B, hold the Shift, do that, and add maybe one more. Anything overlapping? I'm going to merge by distance. I have to make a face. I'm not sure if I wanted to do this one extruding like that. Actually, what I am going to do is I'm going to scale in the X and make it less pronounced. And let's just go ahead and sort of snap to there and extrude. I think it's too tall. We're going to find out in a minute. Boy, that is a little bit weird, but it might be fine though. There's a bit of something you could hold on to. So I'm going to bring back stuff. Yeah. Okay, so let's try to see. I might have to make it a couple of times and see what I need to do. I'm going to scale in the Z again. I'll just keep going until I feel I can. Okay. Let's scale it in the X. It's a little harsh. Let's see if we shade smooth and do that. We're going to bevel the sides of it. I might actually like it. There's a bit of a weird design once you get some wood on there. So we're going to get rid of the back, And we're going to select there and there and bevel. I gotta be careful I don't overlap. And this one has that, so if I take this and I join them, I get that. So let's see what that's like. Could have possibly lived without some of that, but you know, I could go back and change it if I want to, but it might be okay for what I need to do. I think what I will do is, for now, I'm going to apply the array. I would have to come in here and unwrap one and copy it and all that. And I think maybe what I'll do is I'll just add an array for now so we can see it coming down this way. We'll get rid of the X. Let's add a couple more. Instead of joining it at this point, let's just look over here. We're going to have a problem when I try to put a piece in here. Am I going to have enough room? And I'm honestly thinking of, what am I thinking of? Which one is it? This one. Let's see if I just take the top for the moment. Shift E to duplicate, pull it down. Let's go back into solid and scale it out. I'm wondering if I could just make something out of this. E to extrude, push it up. I know it's flipped. Let me just fill that. And what if I just okay, for a moment, do I want to try doing this kind of thing and beveling the bottom with 3? Could that just be what we do and just have some wood on there? Okay, let's have a look here, see if anything got flipped. No, it didn't. You know, for a simple design there. Maybe I could redo this piece. Shift S, cursor to selected. What if I brought in a circle again? 18's fine, I guess. And rotate X 90. Scale it down. And what am I thinking? I'm thinking rounded like this, eh? So just get rid of like that and that or something. I could extrude the whole thing, or I could do it simply like this. I'm gonna do that kind of thing. Scale X 0. Let's see if we were doing something like that. Well, I'll take this and I'll snap it to there. Let's just see what that's like on there. It's pretty thin. Let's see. What if, and it's not that big, but what if I do that? Let's take this and get rid of the stuff we don't need. And then take these and do a bevel on them. Control B, do that. Shade smooth. Yeah, all right. Well, let's do this. Let's select this and get rid of that. And where's the other one? Just below it, eh? Let's just try this. put it kind of there. And how far down can I go? There. Maybe a little bit further. Grab that. Is it too small to ever see at all? I think once it's textured and stuff, you know, you might see it. I would take this and duplicate it down. And then I would take these, and I'll have to actually get rid of this stuff here, actually. Hang on. X faces. And duplicate them and pull them through. Some of these shelves are actually at different levels in the game, you know, so it's not all equal. Something like that. And then if I take this and I join it, it's propagated down. You barely see them, but they're there. And I just think it looks a little bit nicer. That's that. Okay, what else is there to do on this? There may not be anything I need to do, except maybe, you know, slide a couple of these down there at some point. That's what it's looking like so far. It's not bad for a quick thing. And then of course what we're going to need is we'll throw on some dirt. All right, just as our test here to see what this stuff looks like. We'll bring up the roughness and make it a dark brown. We'll use the generator. And we get some dirt, which is looking great on there. And let's also try, I'll go with white for now, and we'll add the curvature generator to just sort of grab the outlines. Okay, and then we can either drop that down and keep that. We can change the color. We can try dark, which I actually like, or you can do a light brown type thing. Where is it? Okay, I might unwrap it slightly differently for that piece there. And again, that's with that wood. So what I could do is I can throw on another type of wood. We have that, and I do like that. So we can just experiment with different things. You know, I'll have to come up with something that we like. I might change that. I don't know that I would do that unless I did that and then I toned it down here. You know. To get it to start looking a little bit like the image. There's another test that I did. All right, so I think that will work in our scene. Whether or not I decide to keep that, it's not so bad. So that's where we're at right now, and we certainly have more to do. I'm going to delete that, and let's put this array back on. And we'll come back and I'll start working on probably, actually I think this is too far into the wall, and so I've got to look at that. Let's just see if I can, okay, that's that. Let's look at this. which may change everything. So, you know, you got to put it there, and I'll have to, you know, adjust this stuff here to get it to fit a little bit better. I may have to scale it in the Y ever so slightly. I know I've got those cylinders in there, but I'm not too worried. You know, I'll get it to fit there. It's a little bit better there anyhow. But yeah, I'm going to come back, and I think I'm going to work on some other cabinets there, and eventually I will get to this thing, and a couple of lantern-like things, maybe a couple of hooks, and some damaged, you know, wall, whether it's plaster or wallpaper. I'll have another look at the references, and of course all the textures for all that stuff, including the floor and the ceiling, probably some wood beams, and you know, we got our work cut out for us. But I think we're doing okay so far with what we got, and judging on this first test here, I think we can get some nice dirty wood for this whole thing with just a few objects. I'm not going to be able to fill it up, and yeah, and hopefully you'll like it. All right, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.